This is The Lavender Phantom, Book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. Part 5, Chapters 21 to 25. For previous chapters or to start from the beginning, navigate to the playlist titled The Lavender Phantom on this channel. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me produce more free audiobook stories for you. Happy listening! Chapter 21. What to do now? I left my dress there, so how will I explain the clean clothes if someone finds me? I have to slip out unnoticed. Valerie and her goons can't see me. My plan still stands. Go up, steal the ledgers, leave. Easier said than done. As I take heavy step after heavy step toward the top, I realize I didn't ask the doctor for his name. I emerge back on the second floor. When the secret panel eases itself shut behind me, feet away from where I was violated, my nausea returns. I push those feelings to the back of my mind, the same way I've always dealt with anything I didn't like, with all my unresolved issues. I start thinking clearly again. I press my back to the wall. Its surface is rough, finished with an even coat of black. Was this a different color under the previous management? If it wasn't, maybe it felt classy, enticingly dark. Now it makes the space seem small and suffocating, somewhat morbid. I breathe deeply, trying to ease my hammering heart. The floor is quiet, eerily so. The rooms would be soundproofed, I realize, as I swallow another wave of nausea. I peel myself off the wall and take tentative steps forward, creeping from one foot to the other. The red carpet under me drowns the sound of my bare feet. I step forward more confidently. When I reach the door to the office, I put my ear on it. I don't hear anything, but that doesn't mean much. Before trying to lockpick my way in, I press the handle gently and push. The door opens without a sound, the seal broken.
Just find her, Brad. She's here somewhere. Can't you make a decision on your own for once?
This is Valerie's voice. She could be talking about anyone. Me, Tanya, Kiara, someone else. But I don't stay to find out. I won't take the ledgers now. Updated plan. Go to the basement and phone the employer. I run back and through the secret panel, checking twice to make sure no one has seen me. I go down as fast as I can, the speed of my descent making me dizzy. When I'm 2 floors down, I'm faced with another door like the one for the sub-basement level. I execute the moves I observed Tanya demonstrate and push at the door. It doesn't budge. I try again. My body screams with the pain of straining. Fuck. I update the plan. Go to the first floor, past the private rooms and escape through the fire door. Go home. Although I deleted our chat, I still have the number of my employer saved on my personal phone. Tonight has been a failure, and I'll lose $5,000. But I need to complete the job. There is no way this place can continue functioning. It's a factory for trauma, and I hate it. I go 1 floor up and stare at a wall. Why is there no door here? How did I miss its absence? Double fuck. I go back up to the second floor and carefully let myself out of the hidden panel into the black corridor. I sneak to the office door, still cracked open. Brad and Valerie are still inside, so I dash down the main stairs, only halting when I'm 2 stairs from the bottom. One end of the corridor in front of me leads to the fire door, the other to the bar. I really don't want to go to the bar. That fire door is my only chance. I hope it isn't alarmed, but I have to risk it. I'm shaking when I start hearing faint music. My heart jumps with each thump of the bass line. There is no one immediately visible, so I get to my knees and crawl carefully, legs first. If someone sees me, I will pretend to be crying on a step. Not as suspicious as someone trying to sneak out, right? A crying woman is invisible in this place. As I proceed down, it becomes harder to ignore my body's danger radar. My ears are ringing with the feeling of exposure, of an imminent fight with unclear consequences. A slight part of me loves it. Another shriveled part of me fights it with its disgusting claws, reminding me the consequences aren't that unclear. More violence, maybe confinement, maybe death. The undesirable possibilities multiply in my mind until I hear a familiar voice. I have just reached the last step. The fire door is within reach. But while the staircase is hidden from view from where the voices are coming from, the door isn't. I will only make it out if they go away somehow. I panic a little. Jumping to my fastest way to get my feelings under control, I dig my nails in my neck until the pain is the only thing I can focus on. I have to hide somewhere. The Asian room is just a few feet away. There is another door on the hidden side of the corridor. I don't know what's inside, but I haven't seen clients or staff go in or out of it. I pray that it is unlocked and empty as I duck and run toward it. When my fingers grasp the handle, it gives easily. I stumble inside, quickly closing the door and flicking the lock as noiselessly as possible.
My British savior.
I hear a male voice behind me. I turn slowly, stiff in sudden fear that it could be anyone from my rapist to any of the guards. Maybe Valerie's boss, maybe their boss.
No matter where they hide me, you always find me, don't you?
A mane of thick black hair, ruffled on top as if someone has been holding it, and a wicked grin. It is the man from the freezer. My heart skips a beat. I'm not sure what I'm so excited about, but for a moment it feels like I'm seeing an old friend walking toward me on the street. His grin widens. Chapter 22. The room is simple, almost empty. A sofa and a coffee table at the back and a few chairs. A floor lamp is standing in one of the far corners and a plant in the other. The walls are some kind of purple that gives the place a vibe of melancholy. "Hello," I say for lack of anything else to say. He doesn't look well. Even in the muted light, I can see he's been beaten up. He is sitting in a chair, his arms loose at his sides. His legs are stretched out, but there is nothing relaxed about his pose. He looks tense and in a lot of pain. "Are you okay?" I whisper as I step toward him. His face this time is clear of any bruises. His gray eyes are glassy but not tearful, his forehead wrinkled from the tension in his face muscles. My question is stupid.
I would shake your hand now that I'm free, but I'm afraid I can't really move my arms at the moment.
He is now dressed in a black dress shirt and black slacks. When I get closer, I wince. His shirt is soaked. With sweat or blood, I can't tell in the semi-darkness, but it doesn't look good. His arms aren't just at his sides. They're hanging from his body, heavy and limp like two mannequin limbs. "Did they break your arms? How much pain are you in? Can you walk?" The questions flow violently from my mouth. I start shaking again, my mind free of worry for myself. I adjusted his ropes. I fed him. I tried to keep him safe in this wretched place. And they broke his arms. Both of them. My eyes focus on a metal bat near the sofa. A bloody towel is lying on the floor next to it. I clench my jaw and cross the room in 2 strides. Picking up the bat, my doubts leave me. If I just come out swinging, how many people can I incapacitate before I get to Valerie and crack her head open?
"Easy,"
says the man's soft voice behind me.
"Put that down and give me some water. There's a glass on the table."
I blink my rage away. I'm an idiot. I can't go crazy and kill people. I can't end up in prison. Who would look after Melanie? This place is toxic. It is corroding my soul and my body. I have to find hard evidence. I have to bring Lavender down. I take the water from the table but don't let go of the bat. I can still use it to protect myself. I bring the edge of the glass to the man's lips. As he swallows, I look at his face. It is more handsome than I remember it, the shadow of stubble prickling his cheeks. As I follow the movement of his Adam's apple bobbing up and down, it hits me that I have no clue what to do next. He needs a hospital. or at least a doctor. My eyes narrow as an idea forms in my head. Can you walk? I repeat my last question with as much conviction as I can muster. He finishes the water and licks the inside of his lips. I stare.
I can walk, but I don't know if I should. Your intense look scares me.
He winks. How can someone joke with 2 broken arms? I set the glass down on the floor and straighten in front of him, hoping that despite my shortness, I can still exude authority. You need to see a doctor. I will take you to a secret place. Then we'll leave together. The man shakes his head.
I can't go anywhere.
You said you can walk.
My tether to this place is not physical. There is a reason I haven't escaped.
Besides both your arms being broken.
This is a recent development. It shouldn't inconvenience me too much, and I don't think they're broken. Just a bit battered.
He looks pleased with himself. I scoff. You won't be able to open doors if you change your mind.
I have knees.
The doors outside have round knobs?
As much as I love this banter between us, you're right. You need to leave.
Wait, do you think Valerie will come here? I forgot all about the voices in the corridor. My fingers curl around the handle of the bat.
Not for a little while. The coast should be clear for you.
I can't leave you here.
I can't have you stay here because of me.
He smiles, and I want to shake him. How is he so calm? You have 2 broken arms. I'm concerned. And I can see you're concerned for me too. So, yes, I have double standards. Don't look at me like that. A crooked grin blossoms on his face, easing some tension in his cheeks. He looks almost boyish with his ruffled hair and his eyes twinkling with humor.
So selfish. You only care because you don't want to worry.
I know he's joking, but it's true. I want my conscience to be clear when I steal the ledgers and destroy Lavender. I don't want to expose him to my type of danger. I also don't want to be exposed to his dangers that apparently end in beating and imprisonment. Should we compromise? I offer. You will follow me to a doctor who can ease some of your pain, and then we'll chat again. You won't be leaving Lavender. He huffs a tiny laugh.
So you've been to the secret floor. Do you like it?
You know about it too?
I built it.
Wait. My brain goes fuzzy again as I recall previous conversations. Previous owner. The Lavender Phantom. Did you hire me?
Not exactly.
But you know who did.
One of my associates.
I drop the bat to the floor and squat in the middle of the room, my head in my hands. So you know the doctor.
He's one of my associates, too.
You know he and another staff worker tried to get me to leave tonight. Tried to save me.
They don't know about who you are.
His face becomes grave.
Let's keep it that way.
Why?
For their safety.
And how much do you know about me?
Just your famed title, the Brigand Wraith.
What about my real identity? My family? My day job? He shakes his head. I don't know why I'm interrogating him. He doesn't seem bothered. But suddenly I grapple with the dilemma that I'm close to knowing who the person is who lured Melanie here. Maybe it isn't him, but he knows who did it. He sanctioned it. And I think I know your legendary alias, I say. You're the Lavender Phantom, aren't you?
I didn't pick it, if you're wondering. I just hover around so when people accidentally see me, it's easier to make them believe they saw something ethereal, rather than a prisoner in his own home.
He sounds sad as he says this. His head drops down, and he inhales a long, deep breath. An inhale of regret and failure. We can talk later, I decide. He is already in a lot of pain. No reason to make him upset, too. Let's go now. He nods.
Grab the bat. We go to the second floor, then we go into the secret staircase from there.
We need to find another way down. Valerie and Brad are looking for me. We're both dead if they find us.
The other way is through the lounge full of customers.
Okay then. Back to that floor, again. we go. With such rapid, frequent exposure, maybe I can beat my trauma before it even forms. Maybe it will become mundane before it becomes dreaded. He goes to the door and waits for me. Stood next to each other, he is towering over me like a giant panther. Sleek, silent, dark. I push the door open slowly, the bat loose in my other hand. A shiver goes through my body. It is a warning, a kick-starting procedure. Danger, it screams in my mind. But I'm the mistress of my mind, and I tell it to shut up. There is always danger. To reach the doctor, we need to go through this hall. The Phantom moves silently behind me. I'm suddenly aware of his proximity. If I straighten my back, I will lean on him. Blood rushes to my cheeks. Shut up, brain. I open the door more and push my head through the gap, my body humming with an intoxicating mix of fear, determination, and desire. The corridor is quiet. I step out and let my companion follow me. I linger to quietly close the door behind us. No reason to alert anyone of our escape. We sneak to the staircase and then up, both on full alert. The journey is fast and passes in a blur. The painting that opens the secret wall panel is now within reach. Only a few steps away, it seems like the entryway to a coveted magical land. I allow myself a moment of fantasy as I walk toward it behind the Lavender Phantom, gripping the bat with both hands, keeping it high and ready. I hope I don't have to use it because I'm unsure I will be able to. I've never in my life hit anyone, intending to maim or kill. It seems too scary, too final.
Hey, where are you going?
Brad or Chad, I'm unsure which, is walking toward us from the other side of the corridor. No, he is running, and he'll reach me first. The skin over my knuckles stretches painfully as I grip the bat with all my strength. This is it. No time to think, just swing. I take a few steps back, still doubting myself. My back hits the Phantom's chest. I look up, my eyes already floating on tears. I'm embarrassed I don't really have it in me to hurt someone. I've always protected myself. I'm justified, fair in my anger. Now I'm protecting for two, but I'm hesitating. Why? My knees tremble. His chin rests on the top of my head. His presence steadies me.
Just get him on his knees or on the ground and I'll take care of him. You don't even have to hit him.
What? How is he going to take care of anyone with two broken arms? Shit, shit, shit. My time runs out. The thug gets hold of my hair in one swift motion and throws me to the ground. I hit my head again. How many times has that happened recently? The bat is still in my hands, but I'm uselessly crumpled on the floor. Brad or Chad continues toward the Phantom, who has backed away toward the secret door. Is he going to escape and leave me? Surely not. Just get him on his knees. I know pain, and I know how to make someone submit. Determined, I get to my knees and swing. The bat connects with the back of the thug's knees, and he stumbles forward, arms flailing in the air. The Lavender Phantom moves gracefully away from his grabby hands and lifts his leg. One blink later, the goon is lying on the floor unconscious. He's been kicked at the back of the head with deadly precision. I don't know if he's still alive. I hope so. I don't want to have the memory of witnessing someone get killed. I scramble to my feet, using the bat as support, and jump over the thug's body. I don't check if he has a pulse, just bolt for the wall opening before the ruckus we caused alerts anyone else. Quickly, I urge as I tilt the painting. I don't even know the man's name, and I'm putting my life on the line to get him medical attention. The door closes behind us, and for the fourth time tonight, I move in a spiraling circle. This time, down, 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 toward the secret infirmary. I underestimated you, I say as my bare feet slap on the steps. What is your name, anyway? I know nothing about you,
Damien.
he says in between pants. It seems his deadly kick made his pain worse.
And yours? Or should I keep calling you Adrian?
Adrian is fine for now. He shakes his head with a tiny laugh.
Fair enough. We're almost there. Do you know how to operate the door?
I think so, I say, but when I start, I struggle. He instructs me patiently through the steps, and I finally push it open. We walk through the red corridor. We pass a lot of doors. I didn't notice the first time. When we reach the room I was in, I walk in first. The doctor is there, smiling a bit. His smile disappears when he sees my companion.
Haven't they beaten you enough?
He asks, looking past me. Damien only chuckles.
Don't want you to get bored on the job, do I?
I feel a bit out of place. They know each other. They're friendly. Of course they are. Chapter 23.
If you've already been treated, I assume you also met Matthias.
Damien, the Lavender Phantom, says. He plops himself on the cot as he says this and winces in pain. Who? I don't know any Matthias.
I'm Matthias.
The doctor waves a bit.
I patched you up like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to ask your name. You can sort out his arms, right? I ask, then add, nice to meet you. Tanya is nowhere to be seen.
I haven't seen the state of his arms yet. I can't make any promises.
Matthias's voice is somber, as if he doesn't want to reply at all.
Don't trouble yourself with that if there's nothing you can do.
Damien's voice is even, his tone friendly but devoid of the mischief it had when he talked to me.
I don't think my arms are as bad as they look. Maybe a fracture or two.
I grimace, but keep quiet.
Yes, sir.
Matthias's response is curt and formal and makes my frown deepen. There's some sort of power dynamic going on here that I'm not privy to. I open my mouth to say something. Damien raises a brow to silence me.
No need to panic, Matthias,
he says.
He knows things are difficult and he's stressy. He's got an ulcer.
Why are we speaking as if he isn't here? I shake my head and sit on the chair in front of the desk. The purple card is back in its neat stack. I glance at the time. It is 3 a.m. Hanako and Melanie should be fast asleep right now. I have to get Hana something to thank her. And after all this is over, I have to make sure I pay her back in kind. As my mind wanders off, thinking about possible rope scenes and kink adventures, I watch Matthias walk out and then back with a massive bag. Now, as I take in his slumped posture and sunken eyes, I realize I must have misjudged his bedside manner for nonchalance. Damien is right. The person in front of me is not calm at all. Or maybe Damien's suffering distresses him more than mine. As Damien fidgets on the cot, I look at the way his slacks hang from his hips. He has long, muscular legs. The outlines of muscles in his thighs are visible as he shifts this way and that, trying to find a comfortable position for his arms. Matthias fusses over his bag, pulling out medical things and holding them in his enormous hands. I notice a small sink in the far corner of the room, a kettle, and some tea and coffee. Should I make you both a hot drink? I need something to do. I poke around and find a few different varieties of tea.
I'll have a black tea if we have any.
Damien's voice is smooth and deep. I'm happy with his answer. I love that there's Earl Grey here with me in this tiny room.
No way. It's the middle of the night. We all need rest. No caffeine. A chamomile tea for him and a decaf coffee for me. You can choose a peppermint or a chamomile tea for yourself.
Matthias uses his doctor's tone. I roll my eyes but push the Earl Grey box back in its place.
You're overreacting.
Damien says, and then,
Ow, ow, why are you pressing on my hand like that?
To figure out if it's broken.
As I wait for the water to boil and make the drinks, I focus on the quiet muttering of Matthias as he looks over Damien. Damien sounds like a petulant child, while the doctor prods him here and there. When I bring the drinks over to them, Matthias is injecting something into Damien's arm. What's the verdict? Are they both broken? I ask, and set the mugs on the edge of the desk.
I would say he is one lucky bastard, but I know that's not true.
Matthias replies, and sets down his syringe, carefully replacing the cap on the needle.
They knew how hard to hit him to cause maximum pain and minimum damage. His arms are swollen but don't appear to be broken. There might be a hairline fracture or two, but I can't tell without an X-ray.
Damien smiles and lifts his right arm, giving me an attempt at a thumbs up.
Fast-acting painkillers,
He says and winks.
pass me my old lady tea.
Whatever.
Matthias takes his coffee and sips it, offended by Damien's opinion of chamomile tea. Herbal teas are excellent for the body and the soul, I offer, but Damien only scoffs. I take a few sips of mine, enjoying a moment of simplicity. For 2 long seconds, there is only the tea and me. Nothing else is there, and nothing else matters. The 3 of us sit without talking. The only sound breaking the silence is lips, on hot cups of liquid, slurping gently. After I'm done, I stand up and gather the medical supplies scattered about the table. Matthias doesn't seem bothered. Maybe his stress has eased after he saw Damien's condition wasn't so bad. My blood pressure dips and I sway on my feet, steadying myself on the edge of the desk. Matthias moves like a shadow and wraps a sturdy hand around my upper arm, keeping me upright.
Who was your client tonight?
He asks, and I look up to meet his eyes. They are shooting daggers. I don't know who he was.
What was his lavender name?
No idea, I say. He was with Duke Harrington. Damien swears.
I hate those CEO types. They think they own the world.
He sprawls on the cot like it's a couch, one leg up, and swollen arms resting on a knee, like it's the most comfortable seat in the world. There is something regal in the way he displays his broken body, something attractive in the way he holds his head high while looking around. His chest rises and falls with the deep breaths of someone in control. This is how I want to look. This is how I hope I look to others. But this is not how I feel inside, and never has been. Envy and desire mix in my thoughts as my eyes trail his jaw, his neck, his slightly exposed chest. Matthias looks like a highly strung violin next to him, grabbing at things and tossing them in a bin. Elegant, taller, but thinner. Somehow under pressure again. He sits at the end of a small wheelie chair, his legs supporting most of his weight as he puts his equipment back into his bottomless bag. There is a shadow cast across his face that could be the lighting or the memory of pain and anger. Either way, he looks fed up and tired.
Time to rest.
Damien says, breaking my observation. You're going to sleep here? I ask and look at the tiny cot.
We're all going to sleep here.
The 3 of us?
Not in this room.
Matthias smiles a bit. My confusion must be entertaining them both.
There are a few rooms and a bathroom on this floor.
That makes sense. Damien told me the Lavender Phantom is not allowed to leave the premises, so this floor must be his home.
Come.
Damien says.
Let me show you a part of my small kingdom.
Chapter 24. Damien takes me to what I assume is his bedroom. There's a big bed in the middle, a crate on one side which serves as his wardrobe, and a home gym installation. It's so underwhelming that I can't fake an appropriate reaction. My eyes just widen in disbelief. After the opulence upstairs, this is shocking.
My circumstances changed when I finished the office we were in. I've been very slowly trying to get things together around here since then. Emphasis on very slowly. Shopping is difficult when you're not supposed to go out and meet delivery people.
He says, his eyes lined with humor. He isn't embarrassed about this part of his living situation. It's functional and easy to maintain. It will do.
Matthias will sleep on the couch.
He continues.
You and I can take the bed.
I raise an eyebrow and open my mouth to protest, mainly to mention how I don't really know either of them. But Damien raises a hand in a kingly gesture to shut me up.
Let's not argue tonight. It's already late. Look at this bed. Matthias and I can't both fit there. The medical couch is at least long enough for him.
He says with the beginnings of a smile.
You can't deprive a doctor of a good sleep.
I thought he isn't practicing, I say.
So then he doesn't deserve good sleep?
Damien is playing with me, his face joking. I notice for the first time how tall Matthias actually is when compared to Damien. When you're short like me, everyone is taller, so there's not much difference. But Matthias is not only tall, he's long.
Plus, you have nothing to be afraid of with me. I have 2 hardly working arms, and I'm dead tired. We can put a blanket between us.
As a full stop, he winks. Somehow he knows that it's all sorted even before I know it myself. The thought of him and me in bed is appealing, but if nothing else, I'm afraid I would be too distracted to sleep. I've only ever slept with Melanie next to me, a remnant of peace from a past before all went to hell. None of my partners, sexual or friendly or anything in between, ever coaxed me to fall asleep next to them. I tried, but never succeeded. And then there's the problem of my recent trauma. I'm pushing it to the back of my mind still, but who knows when it will come out. A distraction like Damien would be nice, but it could go either way. Matthias yawns again. It feels pointed. Fine, I say. We'll do what you say, but I don't understand why Matthias can't talk for himself.
Matthias is too tired to talk for himself,
Matthias says, rubbing his eyes.
but Matthias will help you with the bedding and give you both painkillers in the morning, so be good to Matthias.
I shake my head and chuckle. Half an hour later, we all have a designated place to sleep. Damien has showered and is being checked over one last time in the bedroom. I go to the bathroom for a shower, rub off my makeup with more vigor than needed, brush my teeth, and head for bed. I'm wearing a black tank top and black pajama bottoms Damien has issued to me. Smelling nice from a surprising range of female products, I feel slightly better. Matthias is waiting for me outside. Is this all Tanya's stuff? I ask. He nods but doesn't go in.
Listen, I know Damien seems strange at first, with the way he talks and the things he does or doesn't do. But give him the benefit of the doubt. The past few years have been difficult for him. He doesn't have a lot of allies around here.
I don't mind that, I say. But he acts like he owns you. Do you not pick up on that?
That's maybe because he does.
Matthias says, but his face isn't sad. His expression is a mix of pride and acknowledgement. I want to ask more, but he goes in and closes the door. A second later, I hear him brushing his teeth. When I go into the bedroom, Damien is either sleeping or pretending to sleep, so I say nothing. He is lying on his side in the bright room, shirtless, arms outstretched and painful looking, legs bent slightly so he fits properly on the mattress. I turn off the light and sit on the bed, unsure of how to lie down and what to do for the next few hours that I will undoubtedly spend trying to fall asleep. A small night light illuminates one corner, diffusing the darkness. The bed doesn't call to me. Matthias flushes the toilet and goes into the infirmary room. After he kills all light outside, I finally put my head on the pillow, my back almost touching Damien's back, and draw my knees close to my chest. The quiet semi-darkness is my worst enemy. It magnifies my morbid thoughts and obscene fantasies, and as I count sheep, I dance the line between being angry at the world and ashamed of myself. I turn around and look at Damien's broad back. It is smooth skin in between raised scars, taut over refined muscle. What kind of person is he to have made so many enemies? I saved him because I related to his struggle. We are both victims of Lavender. Was it a mistake? He is linked to Melanie's suffering, but could also be the reason she was able to escape this place. The quiet rise and fall of his chest doesn't give me any clues. After an hour passes, without sleep claiming me, I get up, put my hoodie on, and sneak out of the bedroom and through the hallway. It's dark, and no door strikes me as particularly interesting. They are all unlocked, and their insides are all pitch black and musty with the smell of abandonment. There's a strip of light coming from the office infirmary, so I go there. Maybe I can chat with Matthias if he's still awake. I inch the door open. He's sprawled on the medical couch, one arm hanging from the side. He is snoring lightly. I consider leaving, but with my only option being back in bed with my thoughts, I slide in the room and sit behind the desk. I pick up a piece of purple card and a pen. I sketch the word lavender in the nicest writing my tired hand can create and draw a flower behind it. I look at my creation and discard it. I take another piece and write the same, this time with a stalk of lavender in the background. It's quite pretty, so I leave it. I go back to the bedroom, thinking about broken dreams and empty rooms. If I were Damien, would I be able to live under my own creation and still love it? My racing mind tells me sleep is still a distant thing.
Welcome back.
Damien's voice jump-starts my heartbeat. The room is still semi-dark and warm, smelling of something masculine and inviting, different from the smell of any of the other rooms I peeked in. I can see the outline of his body, propped up on one elbow, his chest shamelessly on display. "Doesn't your arm hurt like that?" I whisper.
It does a bit, but Matthias gave me hospital-grade painkillers. Also, this is the one they hit slightly less.
I can tell he says that with a smirk. He sounds almost as self-destructive as me when I need my masochistic fix. But I'm sure he isn't one. He doesn't crave pain, he owns it. He is above it. "Are you having trouble sleeping?" I'm not in a hurry to go back to bed, so instead stand near the door. I hug myself to stop a chill that has started at my bare feet and is slowly climbing up my body.
I do when my companion sneaks out in the middle of the night.
"Why?"
Previous trauma and all that. Puts me on edge.
He says in a sing-song way, like he is telling a joke. The tone is on point, but his words sound serious. "Sorry," I say, although I'm not. I have my trauma to deal with too. I'm back now.
Stop trembling in the corner and come under the duvet.
He says the last word with a French accent.
This is how they say it in Britain, if you need it for your make-believe at Lavender tomorrow.
I chuckle and slip back into bed, mirroring Damien's pose. "Who is Matthias to you?" I ask, because it doesn't look like either of us will sleep soon.
Should we play a little game?
He says instead of an answer.
To make this tete-a-tete less like an interrogation?
"What game?" I whisper, lowering my head to his. I love games. Sometimes I feel my entire life is a game, a mixture of goals and achievements and failures for character building. He lowers his head too, our foreheads touching now. A conspiratorial grin paints his lips. Chapter 25.
Truth and strip.
Damien says, his smirk widening.
It's a bit raunchy, but we can stop at any time.
I like raunchy, but truth and strip? I've never heard anything like this.
I just made it up. We ask questions in turns and we pay for them with our clothes. It's only fair to show some skin if you want the other person to show some soul.
My ears burn. I'm not embarrassed. I'm intrigued. We're both wounded and we should really sleep. But I need a distraction, and he probably does too. I listen to my gut again. Is it telling me to run? Is it telling me to fight? Strangely, it's nodded in anticipation. I'm eager to replace the bad memories of the evening with something better, something more potent in emotional charge.
We don't have to play,
he says when the silence takes too long. His voice is calm, and I know that he means it. This reassurance relaxes my inhibitions even further. I want to play, but you barely have anything on. Are you that uninterested in me? I can feel my painful nipples throbbing under my tank top. The idea is thrilling. Alone in the dark, in bed with Damien, I can't deny my attraction to him. It's shallow, but his rugged good looks are getting the better of me.
We can change the game to truth and dare after the clothes go.
he offers. Not or? Damien rotates a switch beside the bed, and the small night lamp glows brighter.
Where would be the fun in that?
He winks. Fine. I'll go first. I whisper and toss the comforter away. I'm not cold anymore, and little tremors of excitement have replaced my shivering. I push everything related to lavender to the back of my mind and focus on the fact that I'm doing something naughty and sexy that I've consented to, and that, if it gets to be too much, I can just put a stop to it. The ambiance of the room, so different from upstairs, is comforting, and the muted light throws tantalizing shadows across Damien's half-naked body. This is going to be fun. I'm in control. I smile. Who is Matthias to you? Damien doesn't look surprised I'm repeating my question.
He is someone very close. We have known each other for years. I trust him with my life.
Doesn't sound like it the way you talk for him when he's there.
That's not a question, so I will not reply.
He says with a laid-back grin.
Throw off that hoodie so I can ask my thing.
I'm not satisfied with his answer, but this is the game after all. I'm sure I'm going to give only half-truths too. But in the meantime, we will be happy and naked, so I let it go and take off my hoodie. Damien's eyes follow the outline of my body. I smile back at him in anticipation.
Why do you use a fake British accent at Lavender?
I thought it would make me more interesting and people would tip more.
That's it?
Is that a second question? If so, something has to go first. My grin widens. The game doesn't have an end goal, but I'm winning.
I take it back,
he says. Then he adds,
I used to live in the UK for many years, something for another time. And I take these off.
He slips off his socks. I roll my eyes.
I'm playing fair. I could have taken them off one by one.
He says. I suppose, I reply. First round is over, and we are still pretty much clothed. It is time to make things interesting. How did you become the Lavender Phantom?
I had everything taken away from me except from this floor.
His eyes glaze over like he's lost in memory. I wonder if I've killed the mood, but he shakes it off and smiles.
I gave up my freedom for someone else's. Being locked down in one building for 6 years and trying to sneak around without anyone seeing is bound to give birth to a legend.
6 years? That's almost as long as Melanie and I've been in Chicago. How has he not gone stir-crazy yet? I kick off my PJ bottoms. Damien's eyes drop to my legs, an appreciative grin on his lips. I'm proud of my legs. They are smooth and shapely, and they've always been reliable, taking me in and out of trouble, following my endless whims.
How did you become the Brigand Wraith?
His question hangs in the air. It is a bit of a bummer. I don't really want to talk about it. I don't blame him because he doesn't know the memories this question can bring up. I choose my next words carefully. I had a talent for lockpicking and my chief discovered it. I used to do ballet, so I was very flexible, and it was easy for me to sneak in and out of places. I was never caught. So, as you say, it's natural that I too became a legend. I smile and gesture toward his PJ bottoms.
Something tells me this is not the whole story,
He says, but obeys and shimmies out of them clumsily. An unexpected snort escapes me. He winks, his air of confidence still the sexiest thing he's wearing. This is a game of part truths. So, a follow-up question to you. Why did you and your associates bring me to Lavender?
Well, since you've already found out that Lavender is not exactly a great lawful place at the moment, I might as well tell you the whole truth of your employment,
He says. His expression changes. He looks somber, reminiscent, somewhat sorrowful. I lean in closer without realizing, eager to hear what has picked at my mind for so long.
I'm being blackmailed. Valerie and her friends have something dear to me. I'm an obstacle to their business, so they need me both close and out of the way. I play hostage, and they don't destroy what I care about. I can probably beat all of them up, but it will be counterproductive for me. Matthias and Tanya don't have the skill sets or the guts to do what you need to do. And that's fine. They're amazing in other ways. I have one other associate, the person you've been in touch with. Well, people. Bringing an outsider to save us all was their idea. This is why I don't know much about you, and why I don't want Tanya or Matthias to be in the know. It's a safety mechanism.
If you fail or get caught, was the unspoken ending to his sentence. If no one knows about me, they have a better chance of surviving if I botch the job. It is reasonable, but it stings a bit. Chief always trusted and believed in me, and while I know it is stupid to think strangers will act the same way, I still want Damien on my side. Even Tanya and Matthias, the other associate. It feels good to not be completely on my own. Yet every ally is a potential liability, so at the end of the day, the brigand wraith works alone. I hook my fingers under the straps of my tank top and push them down my shoulders, then pull the top down until it is at my waist. I look at Damien's face as he follows my movement. He has a sly smile, the smile of a victor, but I know I'm winning. When I get the top fully off, his smile remains, but something dark passes across his face, dangerous and angry. I look down, self-conscious, only to remember the mess that are my nipples, the staples on my areolas. Without thinking, I draw my hands to my chest. Damien shakes his head slowly and reaches out. Gently, putting his hand on mine, he pulls my arm away and to his face. He kisses each knuckle as he holds my wrist gently, his lips and fingers hot on my skin. I suddenly want to cry, but I blink my tears back. This is supposed to be a fun game. Go away, nasty lavender memories.
Do you want to stop?
He asks. I shake my head. I push everything back, back, back. Furious it dared to rear its head while I'm trying to reclaim my enjoyment of the night.
We are both hurt.
He whispers.
But we're both strong to be here, aren't we? Finish the job if you can. If not, we'll find someone else. You can do it, if you need to do it. But no one will hold it against you if you decide to back off. We'll find someone else. We're not playing children's games here.
I sit up. I take my other hand and run it through his unruly black hair. It is soft, pleasant to touch. He showered before bed, and it smells like mine, like Tanya's shampoo.
Shall we continue the game?
He sets my hand back on the bed and points to his boxers. I let my fingers linger in his hair a second longer and caress the side of his face on the way back. I nod. There is one sure way I can win this for myself, and that's to not let the recent events ruin it. In this moment, in this semi-dark room, nothing else matters. I repeat it to myself over and over as I watch Damien slide his boxers down, revealing himself in all his naked glory. I can't help but look at his cock, this unfamiliar area of him fascinating me more than expected. He is semi-erect, probably courtesy of me and my horrific-looking nipples. I shift a little, uncomfortable that I've ruined the mood.
I can't believe I wasted my boxers on such a question,
He says, but his voice holds no malice, just a little humor. To be fair, he asked 3 questions, but I don't challenge him. They were all for my benefit. He doesn't look self-conscious at all.
My eyes are up here, miss. Your turn.
My face heats. No one likes to be caught staring, do they? His mood seems fine, so I relax a bit. Sorry. Following from my previous question, why do you pass me notes? Isn't it dangerous for you? Aren't they going to destroy what you love if they catch you're working with me? That you're trying to save people? He chuckles.
That's 4 questions, but I will let you off because you sound concerned. It is mildly dangerous. But I can't help it. I like writing poetry. It helps me de-stress, even if Tanya says it's bad. On that point, the Getting People Out program is not my thing. I give my allies, as few as they are, full creative freedom. Tanya and Matthias came up with that. They try their best to reduce the trauma people get here and prevent new ones from being recruited, but there seems to be an endless supply of desperate girls and boys. I didn't tell them about you, so they jumped the gun and tried to save you.
Maybe we should tell them. You said you trusted them.
Maybe. I will consider it. The safety issue still stands, especially for Tanya, who is in too deep with working for Valerie. She's essentially a double agent.
I'm starting to understand why Tanya's so grumpy. She must be stressed beyond belief. I have nothing to add, so I just shake my head and take off my panties. I slip one leg after the other, not trying to be overly sexy, but still trying to maintain an elegance.
You're good at this,
Damien says. He bites his lower lip slightly, shifting his eyes from my naked body to my eyes. His gaze is intense, so I hold it instead of looking down. I know he likes what he sees. I need no confirmation. The game should change now, right? I'm up for more unless you want to sleep. My tone is low and flirty.
I don't think I can sleep soon.
He draws closer to me.
I offer a gentle touch for you answering my next question.
His hot breath warms on my cheek. What do his lips taste like? How will his hands feel gripping my body? Ask away, I whisper.
You like Lavender, right? If you remove Valerie and all the crime and violence, the idea is right up your alley.
My eyes narrow, trying to discern the reason for his question. Does he really mean, do you appreciate my vision, or are you going to betray us? No, I hate it, I say finally, and offer nothing more. He outstretches his free arm and touches my shoulder. My skin tingles under his fingers. It's been a long time since someone has touched me this softly. I rarely crave gentleness. He trails the top of my arm and then the side of my hips as he says,
I know you're lying. I will not phrase it like a question because I know I'm right.
His hand stills. He lifts it an inch from my skin.
But I will ask my question again. And if you tell the truth this time, I will keep touching you. Otherwise, I will have to withdraw my offer due to foul play on your part.
The grin on his face is both arousing and annoying. His commanding voice swirls from my ears straight to the fiery place between my legs. I squeeze them before responding. Does he have a clue how much this idea of soft torture appeals to me? I groan and throw my head back. You know everything, don't you? Then I quickly add, that's a rhetorical question. I will tell you the truth. I do like it. It's opulent and smells like tea and dreams and escapism. But if I finish the job, if I bring the ledgers to the police, I will destroy it. It will be a crime scene, and its reputation will be tarnished forever. I can't like it, because after I'm done with it, it won't exist.
Leave that part to me. I'm good at building and rebuilding. I'm not good at destroying.
He replaces his hand on my waist. This time he slides his fingers upward, reaching all the way to my neck and under my ear. He plays with my earlobe as I imagine his long fingers wrapped around my neck. My logical brain shuts down. I take his arm and spread his palm, placing my neck into it. I close his fingers around, wishing only for him to squeeze and let me silence the world as I feel only me and him. He doesn't move.
Should I assume you have no more questions?
He says in a low, deep voice. I look at him, taking in his intense pale gray eyes. In that light, he reminds me of a big husky, playful but strong. A guardian or an attacker, protective or dangerous. I have one question left. Can we kiss now? This was part 5 of The Lavender Phantom, book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. To listen to the next 5 chapters, please navigate to the next video. All parts of this audiobook are available in the playlist The Lavender Phantom on this YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Like and comment to help get this book in front of more readers, and subscribe to the channel to avoid missing out. See you in the next part.